Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy holidays to you. Happy Kwanzaa. Hope you're still enjoying your Christmas and your Hanukkah seasons. Uh, back to the grind again for the kid. It is what it is, though, right? It's how we make our donuts. Anyway, this morning I'm here to talk about the New York Knicks. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Since we've been on break, I don't necessarily do these on my weekends. So Uh, I wasn't hitting you guys up with the first two games, so I'm going to recap all three here. Now, granted, first game went kind of how I thought it was going to go. We showed some moxie, we showed some fight, and then we didn't. And the thing that I saw in preseason at times kind of showed up again. Habits, I'll call them, tendencies. And the way they were previously coached, you could see when things break down, they fell back into old tendencies. And then we lost the game. Then the Philadelphia blowout happened. And I was actually a little miffed at that because the one thing that I did not figure from a Tibbs regime is to be blown out by like 20 plus points. So that kind of did put a little bit of somebody put a tiny little dot in my balloon, and air fizzled out just a little, but I was able to patch it up and save it, and that was good. But I will say, by the end of the Philadelphia game, I was completely and utterly through with Elfrid Payton. I was completely through with him. Because you are supposed to at least get the ball into the hands of people that could do something, even when your shot is off. You know what I mean? RJ's shot was off, but he stayed engaged on defense and did other things, while Elfrid's game completely was shot. And it had me wondering about Tibbs and why in the world do we keep putting this guy out here 2 games in a row and he's let us down. And I won't put losses on any one player, but when we're not moving the ball and we're not facilitating the offense, we're probably going to lose those games. And I will say the bright spot so far this season, and I know pretty much the Knicks Twitter is like, how in the world did this happen? But it's the truth, and it is what it is, and it deserves to be said. Julius Randle is playing lights out. He's playing like the guy that was brought here last year to be the leader or the quote-unquote star of the team. Now he's actually playing like one who facilitates the ball. I mean, he's been passing the ball more in the last 2 to 3 games than he has like all last year. And he's actually getting guys in good spots and facilitating with the ball a little bit. Now, you don't want to see that all the time. You don't want to see that often either. But to know that he can and not let the ball stick is a great thing. So there was that. RJ had an up game against Indiana and a very down game as far as points against Philly. And, he's got to get a hold of that and be more consistent. But I really like how RJ is attacking. Not just offensively. I mean, the entire game, he's really engaged and he's really doing great things on both sides of the ball. And that's just going to bode better for us going forward. Okay, so Dennis didn't play at all in game 1. Frank played a little bit in game 1, but those minutes were like fourth. All of those minutes were like fourth quarter, almost garbage time. So, yeah. Frank did get a chance to play a bit more in the Philadelphia loss, and we did see some of those still tentative habits. And while Nickdom still is, oh, I see, I told you, listen, y'all who are screaming about Frank Ntilikina having a bad game are suspect to me. Really. Really. The dude hardly played, in the two games. So how in the world is it, see, we got to give up on him? Him? We got blown out because of a lot of different things going wrong for us, let alone one player. So y'all got to come on with this. I'm going to keep just seeking one player out and saying that this guy is the guy I don't like. Tired of that, man. Tired of that. It's a team game, man. And we can't keep doing stuff like that. It's really sad on our part. Especially when we, throw blinders on to the actual issues just to point one guy out. All right. So Knicks Twitter saw me yelling at Elfrid Payton, and everybody was shocked. It was like, "Yo, coach is airing somebody out." Yeah, because he wasn't playing like a team. Not because it's time for Elf to go, but if you're not playing like a team and you're not helping the team, you gotta go. We need guys in here that can do that. You know what I mean? And sure enough, to his credit, he shut me the hell up last night. Shut me completely up last night because Elfrid Payton had probably the best game of his career. I mean, he was diamond folk up. His shot was actually falling, which is not the most regularist thing in the world. And they kept saying he went back after the game and got some more shots up, and perhaps that helped. So, my man, how come you haven't been getting shots up after every single game? Like, come on, man. Like, for all these years. Because if that's all it took for him to have a performance like he did last night, then, bruh, you need to be in the gym after every game, regardless, shooting that ball up so that you can stay ready. Because I tell you what, that's the kind of point guard play that will help us win more games. That's exactly what we need. A bucket here, a bucket there. When it matters, get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Peyton played a great game last night. I'm not going to take that away from him just to knock him because he literally did what I needed him to do. So I feel like he heard me. I'm going to say, yo, Elfrid, I don't know if you follow my Twitter or not, but I think you heard me because you performed exquisitely yesterday. Now, the thing about that is, can you consistently do that? Can you keep that level of gameplay up, game in and game out? You know what I mean? And I'm not expecting your shot to fall like you did last night, like consistently. But when it doesn't, can you still stay engaged and still help your team be in the right positions and do the right things? Because that's what they need you to do. And that way we don't got to rush quickly back. You know what I mean? Because the one thing you really don't want to do is rush an injury back if the player is not really ready. Because we don't need lingering, nagging pains and issues like all season with these kids. And speaking of which, that's why I'm not blown that Obi is injured right now. I'm not blown at all. I feel like he was rushing and pressing himself in those first two games, especially in the second game. He was shooting all kinds of stuff. Calm down, watch the game, and maybe it slows down a little bit for him. And so when he is able to get back onto the court, he's able to perform at a little bit higher of a level for himself. So again, although those things could be things right now, they're not, and I'm okay with that. Let's see. Alec Burks. I hope his ankle is all right because I saw him land on old boy's foot and it looked a little twisted, and you know how those things can go. a la Kawhi Leonard. So he's actually showing such a bright spot in these last 3 games, man. I mean, we got a good one with him. We got a guy who could play the ball and a guy who could put the ball in the basket. And he was a part of last night's wonderful win as well. He was definitely a catalyst. And I can tell that Randall likes having him on the court. Randall looks for this guy like a lot. You know what I'm saying? He'll miss a open Frank to throw it all the way across the court to Alec Burke. Not knocking, I'm just saying. Randall has that tendency when he likes a guy, because he was like that with Peyton for a while too. But when he has a comfortability with a guy, he'll get the guy the ball. He's starting to get it to RJ a bit more, but I still feel like he still needs to do that just to touch more. Uh, Mitch and Nerlens. I like Mitch starting and Nerlens coming off the bench. I just need Mitch to calm down with the fouls. He's working on it, and I see it. But and again, players know he is herky jerky jumpy, so they put him in bad spots, and the refs don't do a great job all the time of refereeing that, adjudicating, so to speak. So in the meantime, he has to recognize that players are trying to put him in foul prevalent situations to take away from his effectiveness, but he is getting more and more effective every game. You see that. You know what I mean? And then when he's off, Nerlens is there still blocking shots and getting in the way. Now Nerlens got to finish off those putbacks though. When he's right there, he gotta finish those off. But to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, we blew the Milwaukee Bucks out after getting blown out by the Philadelphia 76ers. And we lost the game to the Pacers, and we may very well in a couple of days exact some revenge. So far, out of the first 3 games, a lot of people expected 0 for 3. You know, to be 1-3 is not bad. You know what I mean? It's not like we're now all of a sudden like 0-7 or something like that. Nah, they've had a taste of victory after the yuck mouth of the defeats for the last 2, and they beat a team that they should not be beaten. And end of the day, if we beat teams we're supposed to beat, and then occasionally surprise a team that we're not supposed to, that's how we get up there. And I do believe we are on our way up. Not this season, but on our way. All right? And we're not tanking, guys, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sorry for all my people out there and my people on Twitter. But when you start saying that nonsense after 2 games and you swear that it's not pessimism, I gotta call you out. 2 games with no actual star on the team, and you expect us to beat Indiana and Philly and Milwaukee and all these playoff teams. Come on. Come on. Who's not being realistic now? You know what I mean? You saw what the schedule looked like. And if you sat there and said, oh yeah, if they go 5-5, if they don't go 5-5, I'm gonna be mad. Or if they don't go, 3-7, something like that. I don't know what your parameter was. But end of the day, I expected at least 2 losses. At least. I actually thought we were gonna be in Indiana and then be with half the loss with Philly and Milwaukee. But either way, it worked out that we caught a win that we weren't supposed to catch, and we played extremely well, and we showed ourselves what we can do with this squad. Because there's no excuse. I mean, everybody for the Bucks was healthy, so there's no caveat to the win or nothing like that. It was just a straight up Nick win. You know what I mean? And at one point we had them up by 28. So again, we're not tanking. This is not the throwaway season. We're not worried about Cade Cunningham or any other. Guys, strap in for a long season. We're going to have our downs, but we're going to have our ups. Okay? And y'all cannot keep holding this team to last year and the years before. This is a different team. They've got a different mindset, and we all see it now. So now it's just up to us to get on board with it, because it looks like it might be a change in Gotham City. I'll see y'all later. Have a great, great day. Thank you for watching.